Hi guys, Prophecies of Polaris coming at you guys with another channel message from Sylvia Brown's Blessings from the Other Side, Wisdom and Comfort from the Afterlife for This Life. We are now on chapter 2, Discovering Life's Purpose. Here we go. Before we leave the other side for another lifetime on Earth, we composed an incredibly detailed chart of every aspect of our upcoming incarnation. If you look at some aspects of your life and think, are you saying I chose this? Not a chance. I know exactly how you feel. Sometimes I'm sure I must have been either drunk or insane when I wrote my chart. But yes, that is what I'm saying. And it's really a logical and very comforting fact in God's gorgeous eternal plan for all of us. There are a few rare, extraordinary souls who only incarnate once and then choose to do the rest of their work and their learning at home. One divine example is Jesus Christ, whose awareness of his chart is recorded throughout the beginning of the New Testament. Alone in the Garden of Gethsemane, knowing his disciple Judas had betrayed him to the Roman soldiers and that he would be captured and crucified, Jesus even prayed to be released from the contract he'd written with the human and frightened. Father, if thou art willing, remove this cup from me. Luke 22:42. Then, surrendering himself to his destiny and God's sacred plan for him, he finished the prayer with, "Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done." Jesus even knew it was written in his chart that his beloved disciple Peter would disclaim knowing him when the crowds had turned against him. "I tell you, Peter, the cock will not crow this day until you 3 times deny that you know me." Luke 22:34. And after Jesus was captured, Peter did deny knowing him, and on the 3rd denial, while he was still speaking, the cock crowed, and the Lord turned and looked at Peter, and Peter remembered the word of the Lord, and he went out and wept bitterly. Luke 22:60-62. To say that Jesus is the exception to almost every human rule is a gross understatement. Like all of us, though, he did write a detailed chart, a life's purpose, before he came here, that he knew he had to fulfill, despite a moment of understandable weakness. Neither Jesus nor any of the other great disciples whose presence has graced this world will ever need another incarnation on earth to accomplish all they intended. And please run screaming from anyone who claims to be the second coming of any of them. But the vast majority of us, more flawed but no less cherished by God, live many lifetimes here by our own choice to learn specific lessons for the ongoing progress of our spirits, by experiencing the negativity only this boot camp called Earth can provide. Our spirits arrive here with the knowledge we've gained from every previous lifetime and from our vast studies on the other side. And our goals for each new life are based on what we believe we still need to work on. Arriving on Earth without a chart meticulously designed to achieve those goals would be no different than showing up for the first day of college with no clue where we're going to live, what classes we're going to take, what subjects we're interested in or not interested in, where our talents lie, or even what kinds of people we might want to make friends with or avoid. And how wonderful, how infinitely loving of God not to let us come here without a detailed plan, not to just send us wandering around this rough place at random, trying to run into as few walls as possible. Even with a plan from time to time, I think we all feel as if that's what we're doing anyway. But not only do we compose our chart on the other side, with the help of our spirit guide and a team of other brilliantly trained souls who are far wiser than we are. But we also are guaranteed to reach the goals in that chart before we head home again. The question is whether we'll reach them the easy way or the hard way. And that's the reason our chart doesn't mean there is no such thing as free will. Let's say each of us comes to Earth with the goal of getting to the North Pole in this lifetime. And we all start in Alaska. Look around at the people you know, or even at yourself. I promise you can easily spot those who, with that goal in mind, immediately headed south or started off with no map, wearing nothing but a light jacket and complaining every step of the way, or never got more than 5 miles from home before they'd have to turn around and go back because they forgot something. But you've always seen those rare few people who, thoroughly prepared, with map in hand, stride confidently north, accepting the cold and hunger and exhaustion and bitter wind as inevitable parts of the trip, not to be victimized by the journey, but to survive it. Free will allows us to choose the ease or the difficulty, the grace or the resentment, the passion or the laziness, the care or the neglect with which we'll follow our chart. If we chart a cut on the arm when we're 19 years old, we can clean it, bandage it, and help it heal. Or we can ignore it and let it develop into a serious, potentially threatening infection. A charted car accident can be a fender bender or a near fatal disaster. A charted marriage can be invested in or abused. So please don't get the impression that the chart eliminates options, negates free will, and suggests that some sort of inescapable fatalism is ruling our lives. Not only does it leave us with plenty of options as we go along, but don't forget, our charts aren't dictated to us by some great cosmic committee. We compose them. Or on the other side, after we've made the choice to experience another life on Earth, which means that free will is an essential part of the process from the very beginning. When I say the chart is detailed, it's an understatement. We chart our parents, our place and date and time of birth, our race, our sexual preference, our physical and psychological strengths and weaknesses, our siblings, our children, our friends, our enemies, our love relationships, both good and bad, our financial status, our interests, our disinterests, our mental capacity, our advantages, our hurdles, every tiny aspect of our lives, all specifically chosen based on what we've already experienced in past lives and our interim time on the other side and what we're determined to accomplish in this life. But we also make decisions about some crucial broad strokes of our lives. If the details of the chart are individual measures of music, these broad strokes are the verses, the chorus, and the movements of the song itself. Understanding them can help us understand that the forces and conflicts we're faced with aren't random at all. We designed them to guarantee that our time here won't be wasted and that this tough school we're all attending will have the greatest possible impact on the eternal journey of our soul. Thank you guys so much. That was part 1 of discovering life's purpose. I'm sorry, that was the introduction. Thank you guys. This is Prophecies of Polaris signing off.